the West may be losing the technology race. And the unsettling part? Most people aren't paying attention. While you were going about your morning, China was doing something that would make your jaw drop. Not one thing, not two, 10 of them. And by the time this video is over, you're going to question everything you thought you knew about who's actually leading the world right now. Right now, in real time, while most of the world is distracted, this is already happening. Today, we're going through 10 technologies China has already built, tested, or deployed. Things that don't just close the gap with the West when in several areas they've moved ahead entirely. Some of these will feel like science fiction. I promise you they are not. Let's start at number 10, and it walks on two legs. Unitry Robotics has been around for a few years, but what happened recently changed everything. China shipped over 5,500 humanoid robots in a single year. To put that in perspective, that was reportedly 80% of every humanoid robot that existed on the entire planet. Not built in a lab, not rendered in a render farm, shipped. Many already deployed, more entering service every month. What makes Unitry different from the robotics companies you've seen on Western news feeds is price. Most humanoid robots from American firms cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, making them a luxury item for research budgets and tech demos. Unitry broke that model entirely. Their robot dog, the Go 2, retails for just $1,600. You could put it on a credit card. That shift in price point could change everything about where robots can actually go. Factories, warehouses, hospitals, logistics centers. The moment robots become affordable, they stop being a novelty and start being infrastructure. China is rapidly building that infrastructure, and they have a significant head start. But if robots are the muscle of this new era, what about the fuel that powers it? Number 9 is about the biggest bottleneck in electric vehicles, the battery. And China may be closer to solving it than anyone else. Two of China's major automakers, FAW and Chery, unveiled solid-state battery prototypes in advanced testing that claim more than 1,000 kilometers of range on a single charge. 1,000! That's driving from New York to Miami without stopping once to plug in. For context, the average EV today gets roughly 500 kilometers on a good day, and that number drops in cold weather on highways with the AC running. Solid-state batteries don't have those weaknesses. They're more stable, more energy dense, and they charge faster. But the most significant part of this story isn't the battery itself. It's what China did next. They established the world's first official solid-state battery standard, set to take effect in 2026. Standards matter enormously in technology. Whoever writes the standard shapes the entire industry that follows. China isn't just building better batteries. They may end up shaping the rulebook everyone else will have to follow. And speaking of rewriting the rules of transportation entirely, number 8 sounds like something out of a Marvel movie, but it's already in the sky above Chinese cities. EHang's 216S became the world's first certified pilotless flying taxi. Not tested, not approved in principle. Certified, commercially operational. Limited commercial flights are already operating above Shanghai in designated zones. There is no pilot. There is no joystick in the back for a nervous passenger to grab. The vehicle flies itself, entirely autonomous, and it has passed the regulatory approvals that Western aviation authorities are still spending years debating in committee rooms. XPeng, the same company competing with Tesla in the EV market, is going further. They're developing dedicated air corridors above Chinese cities, essentially building an entirely new layer of urban transportation that exists 30 meters above the traffic jams below. The infrastructure of the future isn't just faster, like it's vertical, but what if you need to cross the country, not just the city? Number 7 puts a permanent end to the idea that high-speed rail has already peaked. China's new superconducting maglev train hit 700 kilometers per hour in controlled testing. Not its cruising speed, its test speed, and it reached that in 2 seconds flat. The commercial target is 800 kilometers per hour. To give that some physical meaning, at 800 kilometers per hour, you could travel from London to Edinburgh in under 20 minutes. The entire continental United States, coast to coast, in roughly 4 hours. Magnetic levitation isn't new. What is new is the superconducting system that eliminates the friction and resistance that previously capped these speeds. China isn't just improving high-speed rail, they're developing something that operates by entirely different physics, if it scales commercially, now from civilian speed to military dominance. Number 6 barely got coverage in Western media, but defense analysts noticed immediately. China unveiled the Sharp Shark 10, a fully autonomous naval vessel currently in trials designed to operate with 0 crew members on board. No sailors, no officers, no human beings. 2 drone launch pads built directly into the hull, autonomous targeting intelligence, and the ability to operate indefinitely without a human making a single decision. This is what a Navy looks like when artificial intelligence takes the helm. Literally. The implications here go well beyond the hardware. Every warship in history has required human beings to operate, which means every warship has had human limits. Fatigue, morale, sleep, fear. Remove the crew and you remove all of those constraints. If it performs as designed at scale, the Sharp Shark 10 isn't just a new ship, it's a new doctrine. From the ocean back to the road, number 5 is about a company you almost certainly know, but not for making cars. Xiaomi, yes, the smartphone company. The same brand selling budget phones and smart home gadgets decided, with complete seriousness, to build an electric vehicle, and not a modest one. The Xiaomi SU7 Ultra produces 1,548 horsepower. It lapped the Nurburgring, the most demanding racing circuit in the world, faster than a Porsche in select timed runs. A smartphone company out-engineered a company that has made nothing but performance cars for nearly a century. And that's not even the most disruptive story in Chinese automotive technology this year. BYD, which recently overtook Tesla as the world's best-selling EV brand, introduced a charging system, currently being rolled out across select stations, that claims to add 400 kilometers of range in just 15 minutes. 15 minutes! That's faster than stopping for gas and a coffee. The charging problem that has haunted electric vehicles for decades? BYD may have just made it manageable, at least on paper. Now we leave Earth entirely. Number 4 takes us to the far side of the moon, a place no mission had ever reached before China's Chang'e 6. In a mission that required threading a spacecraft through a communications blackout because the far side of the moon faces away from Earth, and you cannot talk to a probe there directly, China successfully returned the first samples ever collected from the lunar far side. This required a relay satellite positioned at a precise point in space, just to maintain contact. The engineering alone was extraordinary, but what the samples revealed in 2026 made it historic in a different way. Analysis showed that the far side of the moon is geologically older and structurally more complex than scientists had assumed. We have been studying Earth's moon for over half a century, and China just revealed that we didn't fully understand it. That's what a genuine frontier looks like, from the moon to something even more ambitious, the power of a star. Number 3, the artificial sun. China's East Fusion Reactor, the experimental advanced superconducting tokamak, held superheated plasma at 100 million degrees Celsius for nearly 18 minutes. 100 million degrees! That is approximately 7 times hotter than the core of our actual sun. And it held it for 18 minutes, which in fusion research is an almost incomprehensible duration. But the more significant breakthrough was this. It crossed the Greenwald limit. That's a physical boundary in plasma physics that scientists had long believed would cap fusion performance, a point where instability was supposed to make sustained reactions impossible. China's reactor didn't just approach that limit, it broke through it. A boundary that was considered fundamental to the physics of fusion plasma simply turned out not to be a hard stop. Fusion energy is the dream that has been 30 years away for the past 60 years. China is making it feel more achievable than it ever has, though commercial fusion still remains years away. If the artificial sun showed the world what China can do with hardware, number 2 showed what they could do with software, and it hit like a financial earthquake. DeepSeek R1. If you work in tech, you know what happened. If you don't, here's the short version. A Chinese AI lab released a model that matched the performance of GPT-4, at the time the most capable AI system from the world's most well-funded AI company, at approximately 1/30th of the training cost. 1/30th. The narrative in Silicon Valley had always been that frontier. AI required frontier spending, billions of dollars in compute, warehouses full of the most advanced chips, years of infrastructure investment. DeepSeek R1 demolished that assumption in a single release. The market reaction was instantaneous. US tech stocks dropped $600 billion in a single afternoon. That is one of the largest single-day value destructions in the history of financial markets. Coinciding directly with the release of a piece of software from a team most Western investors had never heard of, DeepSeek R1 didn't just compete with American AI. It changed the terms of the entire competition. And now, the final technology. Number 1. the one with the longest timeline but the highest stakes of anything on this list. China is going to the moon with humans, and they are on track. In February 2026, China completed critical tests for the crewed lunar mission program, targeting a landing by 2030. These weren't paper milestones, these were physical tests of the hardware that will carry Chinese astronauts to the lunar surface. Propulsion, life support, lander mechanics, the kind of tests that historically only come right before the real thing. The last time humans walked on the moon was 1972, over 50 years ago. No nation has done it since. The United States is working on Artemis, China is working on their own program, and right now, based purely on the progress visible from outside, the race is genuinely competitive. Whoever lands next on the moon doesn't just win a prestige contest, they get the right to define where humanity goes next, where bases are built, where resources are claimed, where the next century of space infrastructure begins. The moon is not the destination, it's the starting line. So here's what you just witnessed. 10 technologies, 10 different industries, all moving at the same time, all pointing in the same direction. This isn't coincidence. It's a coordinated push into a future that much of the world is only beginning to take seriously. That doesn't mean the West isn't innovating, but the pace and execution happening here is genuinely hard to ignore. The question worth sitting with isn't whether this is impressive. The real question is, what happens to the countries that were too distracted to notice until it was already too late? Because the future doesn't wait for anyone to catch up to it.